When I was 4 months old, I contracted polio. I grew up in Taiwan in the country. My parents were farmers. During the harvest time, we dried our rice in our yard that would invite hundreds of birds to a feast. My job was to chase away these thieves with a long bamboo stick, so while I sat along and watched, I invented a lot of stories of what might happen to these flying creatures, such as the baby birds get sick and the parents were busy looking for a doctor bird to have a home visit. Now I realize such stories reflected my own condition as a sick child. Today, my artwork is like those stories which I make to protect, nurture, and strengthen my spirit.
你从细汉人就逐个足疼伊啊，4个月就足够疼，就会抱就疼去。嘿啊，逐个嘛甲你抱啊，甲你上烧的就是你啊。迄阵时还袂晓行，抱咧会徛啊嘿，4、5个月抱咧会徛就足够啊，哪会晓徛？袂晓啦，抱咧会晓跳啊。
The voice is my mother speaking in Taiwanese. She is telling me how I was able to stand and walk steps with supported hands before I contracted polio. Does my body remember what it has lost? Do the cells and nerves still hold these imprints? This piece occupies 3 areas: a pond, an entry, and a gallery. The viewer is asked to move through the different spaces as the story is slowly revealed. In Phantom Pen, I explore memories as a bodily phenomena. Glass casts of my own misshapen legs illustrate the imprints of what was lost. Emerging from these heavy forms, as if from an oppressive chrysalis, are the light and diaphanous wings of a butterfly. The emerging butterfly is only accessible in that floating place of dreams, wishes, and memories. One Bag of Blood was an installation performance piece created in response to 911. 3 performers sat in 3 glass cases, writing numbers that represented the people who died in all human wars. I wrote the Lord's Prayer in Chinese calligraphy on the floor. Instead of ink, I used mud from the Kennebec River. People walk on the prayer and it sticks to their shoes. They then carry some of the prayer away with them. Eventually, the mud is washed back to the Kennebec River and into ocean. The piece is about this energy of bringing the prayer to every corner of the world. Easy Target was inspired by an old photograph by Walker Evans entitled Man on Crutches. On my first encounter with the image, I immediately identified myself with the man in the photograph. The man's gesture was somehow apologizing, as though he subconsciously felt shame. I felt this was him, as if he and I were hung up as targets in the public eyes to be looked at. In this work, I reflect my pain and shame back to the audience. I ask them to look at me in the eyes without a chance that I may look back. The 2 geometrical forms with different lengths represent the 2 different volumes of my 2 legs.